ArbIeTosYIo books. You know, let me be real. You know, too, too bad for other people. The Book of the Dead, the Book of Love, all the books of magic, all the books of light, all the books of habitation, of all the books of chi, and all the books of metaphysics, mythology, and the tablets. If the Empress or Majesty Empress Star or Star Planet Star Moon Star Sun or Star Earth or the Empress of Energy or the Empresses of certain type of space ever do wrong to me in the physical reality and thought wrong about me in their humane condition and acknowledgement and in their in their in their energy or their mental, even when it came to enlightenment, even of the conscience reality and of their cellular structure, of the continuance of our love we had with each other at a point, the book the book itself would have to return to me in the habitation and filtering their humane existence of magic wouldn't work for them anymore. The book magic, it would cease working for them. Cease working for them means it would stop working for them, and they wouldn't be able to continue that point of magic that they were doing to clean the habitation of their humane condition, of their of their chemistry, even a cellular structure. High, high, high. No, I'm not gonna tell you the other structures, and celestial structure, astrological structure, superstructure, megastructure, quantum structure, or higher structure or beyond higher structure. Their cellular activity wouldn't work for them no more. And down to the structure, the how could I say this? The celestial structure of their habitation wouldn't work for them. So they wouldn't be able to filter their humane condition and they would just literally die. I don't care what empress it was. Or whatever solar system, empress of all solar systems, galaxies, and universe. Even of the empresses of the star clusters of sacred zodiac, or even of sacred space or acknowledgement. Once they acknowledge to go against me, that'll be the end. I just actually seen the Mystique. You know the lady from Britain. Let me explain something to you. Let me show you what I mean. See my back? You know the lady that plays in Mission Impossible or the James Bond, and she's a lady from Britain, the Mushu chick that looks like a Liv, you know, Aid Shaylee and Liv and stuff, and with the fucked up humane condition, that's how come she keep. You know, there's a saying in the Bible, a woman that cuts her hair short is a woman that doesn't care about the honor of her husband. You know, she rather probably be bald or something already went wrong, so she tried to cut off the receptiveness of the intellect from even receiving a form of message, and it would be cut short because she doesn't want the individuals that she was coming into contact with, probably sexing, but don't want them to realize certain things, even when it comes to her receptiveness. So she, that's like manipulating the physics. Oh, in a way, it's just like the lady that kept on having fantasies about James Bond a certain type of way, and then she cut her hair. But you seen her? She probably tried to play Hera. With you never seen the movie when they do you know when they're trying to be Zeus, and it's just like you ever seen the television show Hercules when Zeus is, when Hercules, my son, tried to have somebody else play me Zeus that was of the Helen of Troy's astrological tree, and then and then the nigga that was the actor of this play was the fake nigga, and then he had Hera try to dishonor an individual because they're doing certain forms of rituals because they want to get rid of Hera because they know how detrimentally serious she is when it comes to the human condition and physical reality. But the chick that they made play Hera in the movie with Hercules, Hera showed you that she was already dying from some dark form of energy, and it was the chicks from Mushu. The reason why this happened, the chick from Mushu when I played in Conan the Barbarian, that acknowledged me as at, you know as Conan, that knows I'm the real Conan. Another person, they're looking for their legacy and lineage because they don't want an individual of the Genghis Khan family to realize that I'm Conan, because if they realize that I'm Conan, then you're gonna realize certain things they're doing with the system and the secrecy of the running of the digital system. And then the system of the international security gotta identify what's going on, and then on top of it already has my DNA, and then all type of things will happen. And another person's already wrong, so they don't want people acknowledging what's going on. Now I'm gonna show you today's date and time. Today is December 2nd, 2018, 11:02 p.m. at night, and it's Sunday. 11:02 p.m. at night, and it's Sunday. And I'm just gonna show you how real situations are, even when according to individuals in life. I'm just gonna look. You see? I'm just showing you the date and time, so you know where I'm at even at the time, and I'm the point of all existence. Is why I was showing you individuals in the time continuum. But you have individuals that entered on a sci-fi channel, because as I woke up, there she's showing individuals certain things that's going on in the digital system, and she opened up a chamber. She said a person that wanted to frame you, and then you had a guy that came out the digital chamber that was the biohazard debris of uh, of the Mushu chick, and then she tried to get a form of energy, or of uh, a literal light that they tried to call sky, because they wanted to manipulate the physical reality to know what the real sky looked like. And they don't know what the real sky looked like, because another person is not gonna try to manipulate me when it comes to the physical reality, and they're trying to say sky look like live. No, live. Remember, the Raspberry Billion Shield is 42, that I don't gotta tell you when, I don't gotta tell you how, I don't gotta tell you why, I don't gotta tell you it, or what you will call it, well, what I don't gotta tell you, I don't gotta tell you, I don't gotta tell you about values, or certain type of ways. I don't gotta tell you about fast. I don't gotta tell you about speed. I don't gotta tell you about root. I don't gotta tell you about tree. I don't gotta tell you about a person. I don't gotta tell you about certain other things and certain other people in certain ways in life that another person manipulated. I don't gotta tell you about the 42 sons that were the front runners of my 10 astrological jewel empresses that individuals tried to kill through time, that actually ended, almost some of them almost ended up, because things happened to them that I'm the only one that can really bring them back to answer. It's just like a person doing voodoo zombie magic. If something happens to somebody, and then a person, it's like somebody jumpstarting an engine after a while, and somebody does something wrong to them. It is just like a person that wants to manipulate the reason of their existence, and then causing a certain type of vibration within a person, and then causing the fucked up physical reality. It's like zombified magic, but a person can't do things like that to me, because reality for me is different. But it's just like what they tried to do to me in Coney Island, or Coney Island Hospital and Kings County Hospital, where they tried to make me get in a physical altercation, where they wanted me to have some type of physical trauma, because they left me on a level on the floor in Coney Island Hospital, like they wanted me to get into a physical fight, so they could hit me with an injection, that would literally knocked out the consciousness, and then they would have put a false vibration into individual, and individuals would have wondered what happened. And then this is a real science and physics when it comes to the anatomy and human condition. And then they were killing doctors. And then on top of it, a person was trying to do zombified magic because they wanted a certain acknowledgement when it came to the energy because another person was doing Reiki martial arts. Now it's just like what I was showing you with the individuals in the other video. What it's called the Avengers. You see the lady that was doing the little deadly forms of Reiki, and she was like trying to get into a person's mental and shit like that. I was like, wow, a person did something like that. That's a person that learned about Enter the Dragon, and obviously they've been into martial arts concerning a Shaolin temple and doing things like that. They're showing you that they've already violated the sacredcy of Shaolin temple, usually probably using a sequencing of Star Trek, the next generation. You probably have individuals bothering a certain astrological empress, and they're probably trying to go back in time, and they were probably trying to fuck up the empresses of Shaolin temple. And then on top of it, the most likely they're probably raping the empresses of Shaolin temple, and the people that's doing that is the people of high acknowledgement, and the way they're doing it is manipulating an element or of a jewel, and light knows about it, and then they're literally doing it on purpose to certain individuals. So another person saying what's causing light to do that is because of rags like the breathing shield. They're trying to get a jump start on people's energy, so they're using the frequency of the element of probably iron. I don't gotta tell you about the 42. That they know about what I'm speaking about, but probably iron or my other son gold, my son silver, or probably other people certain elements. And then you have the Star Trek empresses that were element empresses that was already on the Star Trek ship, and then they would just, I told you there's nothing new in elements. And then you have the emphasis of the promises, and I don't gotta tell you about individuals already doing wrong, and then when a person calls them forth, and then uh, uh, seeing them already broke sacredcy, because a person says I already seen them break sacredcy. One of the emphasis of the promises. I seen the Star Trek emphasis break frequency, and then I seen her. They were using her some horror on Star Trek and then she all over the internet and stuff. And then on top of it, she tried to. She even have a television show, and then she tried to get with the emphasis, probably the Element Ninja emphasis, where she tried to manipulate her height to learn this form of physics of elements to manipulate her height, and then makes lying to people, and she's just acting like a hooker that's trying to also frame every Dontor, Dontor, and not Dontor. Dontor was already on the television, the Transformers. She was already on the show, the Transformers and stuff, and then we were watching the one with Tyrese. She was already on the television and the movie with the Transformers and stuff because her barnyard boyfriend, already was manipulating the physical reality and is gonna end up dead anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a person falling apart. These are people that's trying to learn a certain form of science, and once that light of the science know that they wouldn't have the agreement or permission from me them learning it, it's gonna murder and kill them, and it's gonna start with their deterioration, and it's gonna happen in certain forms, even in physics, concerning them. And another person was already targeting them, so they're just fulfilling that role. So it's gonna happen naturally in their life anyway. Though. But it's just funny. It's just like the guy. The guy over here. He's kind of cool. I don't have no wrong with him, but he drinks coffee and smokes cigarettes all day, and then on top of it, he destroys his inner intent of himself. So he doesn't care about his heart or his harmony, and then he's just doing a form of Reiki science. So he looks like a white version of the guy Reggie that live on 39 between K and J in Brooklyn. That looks on 39th Street between East 39th Street between K and J in Brooklyn. So these are people that's just manipulating the physical reality, and just like they had Thor putting Sabretooth putting Thor on the Avengers and stuff. Another person Thor is trying to make sure they were trying to make sure if certain things was with Thor. I'm telling you, if Razor's Blade and Shield and them, their heads were big. They have somewhat big heads, so their their heads can't really be small. But you have the Mushu Empresses just on this on some sci-fi on a sci-fi show where they're in space, and then you see actually the way in a sequence how they dishonored the elder stars of Mushu and caused their downfall. And I told you I had gave the Mushu Empresses their magic back. So I don't give a fuck what happens to them. If they want to kill themselves according to their Empress magic, according to Aaron Light, that's gonna be the Empress is gonna pay. The Aaron Light Stone Man in orbit and rotation Empress is gonna pay because nobody's supposed to be in a high form of orbit and rotation in dark matter, especially when it comes to their calendar. And they're on a ship right now. They're on a ship on looking and probably viewing at space, the frequency of the depth of space on a high altitude, longitude, and latitude, and causing a disturbance in the Empress magic in even her anatomy and physics because now you have the main Empress of all space. It takes the planets to get together to find a manifest, but none of the garden ever seen the depth of her space of the distance of her intellect because they've never been stars. Dark matter never was stars a certain type of way. No matter, even if a person turned to dark matter, a star would never be a dark matter, even in the paradigm of time, because a stars are stars. So a person would never, a star would never be, never turn into a form of dark matter. It would have to be the inner element of an individual, but the element already was covered, so it wouldn't be there to know the frequency of the was beyond the atmosphere. So it would never be a dark matter. It would never be dark matter or a brown skin or black matter, a real star. A person tells me, why do you say something like this? Because I'm the one that made the real physics, and the Empress, nobody could ever be higher than her or ever acknowledge the reason of her depth, even in a former altitude, longitude, latitude, because her magic was sacred to the human condition in the physical reality. So when you have dark mattered people viewing the real, the real, the real, the real stars, it's just showing you how a person that's trying to already defile, demineralize, and then a person, a form of a disease that is trying to acknowledge the reason of reality and then fuck up her life. So you have somebody that went without their boundaries. So it was like a Buddha palm that was uh, hit to a person a certain type of way. And I already hit myself actually last night, the day before yesterday. I mean last night actually, yeah, yesterday. I actually hit myself with a certain type of Buddha palm. So because I seen somebody on a television screen, and I knew they dishonored me when they came to their light, so I hit myself with a certain Buddha palm of enlightenment that was gonna cause me not to be with that person, and I did it in the form of light. Another person not gonna ever find out how I did it because I ain't gonna tell them exactly what Buddha palm I used. So, and then I did it, and then it was gonna cause me never to be with that Empress or that point of enlightenment, and to them points of enlightenment that knew, and the Empress that knew it is gonna the Buddha palm light I hit myself with is gonna spread all over the place, and it's gonna cause me not to be with them Empresses that dishonored my sacredcy a certain type of way. So they'll never be able to refine in a humane condition because my natural habitation of my conscience won't want them to. And a person that tries to combat with me, the Buddha palm, will be end up murdered a certain type of way because the force of life is gonna come alive and murder them if something happens to me, if they try to come next to me or try to cause a distinguishment around me. So it doesn't even matter because you got to know about the reasons of martial arts and the reasons of the real physics of martial arts. And people don't. It's only me that really knows. And not even the Empress because I didn't even share that analogy with the Empress and certain things. So it's just funny because I'm seeing the Mushu Empresses on a spaceship, on a depth jogging on a ship. And then on top of it, then she got naked for another guy that was doing invisible magic and looking like he robbed gold. My son Gold, he looked like he robbed my son Gold because the dude that did the magic is doing they put his hand they put shorty the girl put her hand through the guy, already trying to cause disturbance in the light. These are the people of the Mushu that robbed the Mings. Remember, the people that robbed the Mings are gonna be on a high level of acknowledgement when they try to rob the Mings for their diamond mines. So these people that tried to rob the Mings, the Ice Galaxy, and the people that tried to rob the Egypt and Isis, the stone of Isis, and the ones that stole the stone of Athena. They have to for them you to really know who did it. They have to be on a high altitude, longitude, in space to know precisely the individuals that got to a level that caused the ignorance, that caused the galactic war, that caused even the Mings to lose their diamond mine, that caused the reasons of Rwanda. But it was the people of Mushu, and they were just on the television. And then on top of it, the dude looked like he robbed my son Gold and stuff, because if a person says they go into a depth of gold or of reflection, and you're not me, that means you're robbing the empress. Because once you pass a certain color in gold, or any jewel or stone or element, even the humane condition, that means you're robbing the empress of her natural habitation, of her energy and her love, and then you're just a disease or sickness or illness or a virus that will be trying to kill the empress, and it has nothing to do with me because I'm the one preventing and telling the empress about herself. Because it's like somebody picking your pocketbook and wanting to know control the finances of your money at the time, and then that done devalue your money, and there'll be a certain type of tone in the reality because the magic that they're doing at a certain type of way. A person already is losing the value and is not caring because of what's going on, even when it comes to their physics, and they're not happy. And then on top of it, individuals of high intellect is always happy because it's the reason of their life. But you have a person that's diminishing the reason of their life, like they're making my uncomfortability in physical reality because I'm on the earth, and then on top of it, they're trying to rub it in somebody's face. So it's just the intent of their harmony of the magic that's being done. Just like I told you, it's just like with my caretakers. How did my caretakers get robbed? Because they opened the door of a magical realm, probably did some magic ceremony with somebody that went into their harmony. Then on top of it, they probably had some escort at the time that escorted them. That individuals, what do they do with escorts? They fuck escorts, right? So most likely, you had an individual that fucked over an escort. It's just like one time there was this guy named Amawon, right? They called him his name is Richard. He used to live in East New York. He was with this guy named Trevor Benjamin. They called the escort to my house, and it was somebody's birthday at the time. And then they tried to give me some they called some ugly stink escort that I didn't even want to sleep with. And then this the other escort girl that they had was some light skinned, extreme pretty girl, and then they started fucking her, running a train on her in a room where this guy named Toma came and lived in the room, and the address called 4019. The girl wanted to be with me, but the other ones are called the escort, and I didn't want to be with the ugly little stupid stink shit that was in the other room that tried to come in my room. So, the nigga Trevor had fun with her, and I'm like, wow, I could have saved this girl life, but I ended up not saving the girl life. So I'm like, yo, I don't want to be with that ugly, stupid bitch. And then this is a bitch that done ruined her privacy or secrecy and didn't care. Then another time, I seen this girl that wanted to get that was I was used to hang out with her. She wanted to get into the escort life. She had puel. A puel means she had like a hairy pussy. She had good pussy, but she had hairy pussy. I'm not saying that I touched it or nothing, but I've just seen her. I've seen her naked because she used to come check me at the house, and she used to want to come give me little strip teases and stuff like that. But she only because of the way her crotch looked, I only let her sleep over my house one time, but I never called her to ever come hang out again because I knew that her intentions would have been fucked up to me in the physical reality, and she already caused a depression in my heart when 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 she told me that she had other boyfriends. She said so. I was like, yo, I never hung out with that girl again because I already knew she depressed my physical reality and stuff. So there was no saving any type of chick like that. And then on top of it, and then before she used to come hang out with me, these individuals named Richard and Trevor Benjamin, called the escort, and they fucked the escort in the room where Toma, before Toma came to reside in that room, and then Toma came to reside in that room. And Toma was Toma was a dude that tried to kill me at a point in time in the physical reality doing Mushu magic with the rest of them individuals named Balalu, Sego, and this guy named Walter Paul and stuff, and then a guy named a black guy named David that looked like the black version of Jean-Claude Van Damme that was all the way upstairs, that lived all the way upstairs in 4019, and you had the chick that Stephanie that was like of the Serpentine calendar of era that broke into the Tong family that was living in the middle floor, and then on top of it, they were trying to do fucked up intentions to like the love intentions of the Empress, a certain type of way in her humane condition of her habitation, of her sacredcy, of the reason of her vital existence and stuff. That was in Stephanie's floor. So I already knew that these people were gonna cause bad intentions because these are people that came from Haiti and just wanted to dishonor an empress a certain type of way, and they were looking for the physics of a certain empress and manipulating the physical reality. And the people they were doing this with was with a guy named Patrice and some other individuals I knew from Paris and France that was light skinned and stuff. But these were people that was, Patrice and them was like a funny a funny version of individuals that wanted to dishonor the empress. And these people were the people of Zopound and stuff, people of Zopound that wanted to infiltrate, that wanted to get into the value calendar that was going to cause the end of the value calendar. There was a calendar of value that was also inside of Mushu, but also was already over Air and Light. They were the elders of Air and Light, and before Air and Light even had the orbit and rotation individuals at a time that was put over them, and even in their physics, and that was their natural covering of certain Indian people, but they weren't of the value calendar. But they were like the covering of the Empress, and when it came to the element, because I put it from orbit and rotation to they were elements, but they covered air and light a certain type of way, just in case somebody tried to ever fuck up the sacredcy of air and light, the reason of their first calendar of era, and then they looked like they were like individuals that had some type of form of value to their tone, but they had nothing to do with value or the value calendar. But then you had the value calendar that was of the Mushu calendar that was also the heads of air and light, and I was the head of the value calendar, and the calendars that ever educated the value calendar, and and on top of it, air and light didn't know that I gave the value calendar extra a little magic the other day when I was in New York, when I showed them how to do the zombified magic, and certain people was learning it, and then learning something like that, and then you have them on the value calendar, you probably had them go off when it came to their consciousness because they thought now you have somebody in the value calendar that thinks they knew more than everybody in life, and then you got a certain type of thing of sacredcy of air and light, and then they were just ready to kill everybody. Most likely that person was confident. So he's going around with a magic that I released, dealing with a point of reflection. It was dealing with zombie magic. It was like a person of enlightenment has to have a point of foundation of honesty, of consecration to do certain type of magic or certain type of mythology or mythology, mysticism or spirituality or metaphysics or magic in a physical reality for even one to acknowledge the future, the regardment of one's consecration and one's one's word of purity even at the time. And then you had because orbit and rotation didn't want to tell them what was going on because orbit and rotation was on a certain type of higher level of their physical reality when it came to their magic. They couldn't get into these type of things because Aaron Light and Stoneman were people that was too close to the foundation that would have fucked up orbit and rotation. So orbit and rotation, the real orbit and rotation individuals stayed pure in their existence when it came to their calendar, and another person doesn't know that real individuals of orbit and rotation were all light-mattered people. They were never dark matter. They were all light-mattered people, all through their tone and their whole habitation. They would never, orbital rotation would never risk doing adept magic of dark matter or brown matter in their human condition because the importance of what they're doing inside the calendar, and that's a person could learn that type of magic, but can't do the magic just because you learned it because only the real person of orbit and rotation could do the magic. But you had people that was going after them through time that was trying to find out who they were and stuff. So a person will tell you, and then on top of it, I could do the natural orbit and rotation magic by myself. They have to position themselves in numerous different places at a time just to be able to do that magic. So it doesn't work out for them at time because even because the Empress had to know that I was the Emperor and I'm the only one that can really do that magic at ease. So, and I could just shift the whole space itself, and then I could bring down another level of space. I actually did it one time, another person didn't know, and the sky went orange. And then I didn't want to tell nobody that I was the one that did it, and then I turned it back. But I don't do certain things and stuff because that's a higher level of literal color space. And one time I was in Coney Island Psychiatric Facility. I opened up a realm of white space and pink space, and a sky blue space inside this room. It was room one. What was it? 309, 309, room 309 or 409. 409, 309. I was in this room and I was with this guy that actually witnessed something that nobody knows, that he can't even tell you what he witnessed was so real that an individual couldn't he couldn't let me just be in there. And these are the times they went after the Ing family, and these are people that was defiling their sacredcy. So I just didn't care. This is when they tried to kill my son. In Pineapple Express, and they played the movie. They tried to kill my son because when I saved his life watching my Optimum cable, they didn't want me to save his life. They wanted to murder him because he knew that they tried to kill him. So me saving him, they proved divided the evidence. And then you already know Aaron Light. I mean, the calendar of era was already going off because they were already anticipating using the television sequencing, radio sequencing, and cell phone networks, iPads, future devices of light because they knew how to portal through light. So they were using future devices of light just to be able to manipulate people's calendar and physics because they wanted to learn their magic, and they started disregarding the reason of their sacredcy or their privacy, and then they wanted to override the caretakers. Like they were invading planets at the time. So because they never made it through the real galactical war because the wrong that they were doing in the paradigm of the things I'm telling you now. So they started using the international security lights and started manipulating international security. Just like I tell you, my caretakers, I'm the one that cared the matrix. So that means in physics, nobody else is going to care about you. And even if they act like they care about you, it's like a disease trying to manipulate the reason of regarding. And then another person is just like a drug that destroys the human condition in a cellular structure. Because remember, drugs and the medication that you take is also has a cellular structure. So it's like injecting somebody a vein or with a drug or something, and the drug itself is trying to find a reason of the cellular structure that you already have and manipulating the natural cellular structure of refinement. And if it's a depression drug or an enhancement drug, is already manipulating the cellular structure to 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 if a person saying that advance is not called an advancement because when a person advances a person using a drug and they don't know their human habitation naturally, it causes a natural depression on their high. So when they come down off their high, it's harder for them to get into that realm again, and it causes a depression. So at the time when it causes depression, through that time sequencing, a person might be manipulating them in the physical reality and then cause them to. It's like if a person was doing Aaron like zombie magic, and they would jumpstart in a person's humane condition, like putting fucked up physical impressions on them or hitting them with trauma, it could actually kill them. Because it's like doing a zombie magic. You can't do that with me because you do that with me, you you're exactly what this energy I have, a certain type of way within me been looking for, and then they'll get murdered and stuff. But nobody will know about it. You know, the way it'll happen, no matter even if they're monitoring, you know. And then on top of it, it's just fucked up because a person that does something like that doesn't honor people's habitation, and they're beyond a rapist. Those are people that do beyond rape. Those are people. There was, matter of fact, let me tell you about. There was this girl named Jackie Rivera one time, right? I used to go to her house. We used to smoke weed all the time, and then she used to have this guy at a time like when we were alone because I used to be attracted to her, but she was the chick. She had an oath of who was it? It was an oath of Shay and Liv that was on her at the time, and then they were manipulating her physical and stuff, right? But she was also of the Mushu calendar, and also manipulating individuals and stuff, right? So and then on top of it, she tried to get with individuals from the value calendar. These are people that was doing fucked up chemistry in their physical reality. So and on top of it, she was doing she didn't know. I don't know if she knew about her zodiac signs of her being some form of animal or something. I don't know if she ever knew that. And then on top of it, they were doing Yu-Gi-Oh with her. Like her family naturally knew how to do Yu-Gi-Oh. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh magic, is a form of is like borrowing somebody else's purity of their energy and trying to achieve their journey of enlightenment. But the reason why the Yu-Gi-Oh magic is a person of the stars took an oath a certain type of way at a time, and then the energy watches over the astrological tree just to make sure they're okay. And is not it's something called Guinea. Guinea is like an angel or something, but this is not a certain type of angel. This is an extra angel of the family, and it's called Yu-Gi-Oh. Some people will call it Lua, but the other person will call it Yu-Gi-Oh. But she had a Yu-Gi-Oh, of H. Shaylee and Liv riding like the baby and shit. So I used to go to her house and used to smoke weed at the time, right? But she used to always have this next guy come knock on the door at the time, and then when we were supposed to be together, she ended up having kids for some other man. So one day, me and her hanging out. This girl, she started to get fat. She started to look bloated. We never got to get together, but she was real attractive, and I favored her astrological tree because it was sacred. There was a girl named Debbie that that you that had something to do with Dontor, but didn't have nothing to do with Dontor. But these are people that manipulated a form of Dontor's um spirit, or sprite or spirit man is something that happened a long time ago, and they were residing us around my way. So one day I'm hanging out with the girl named Jackie. We smoking. Every time I go check her, it's like she made a phone call, so another guy would come knock on her door at a time, and then after I leave weed in her hands and we're smoking weed, like there will be a dire emergency, and then I'll have to go, and then she'll be her boyfriend smoking weed, so and so. So she got her fulfillment in the land. So she was causing controversy when it came to the natural habitation of the land, but robbing individuals of acknowledgement at a little point because I'm bringing weed from somewhere else and we smoking with her, right? But I didn't say nothing, right? So one day we hanging out and stuff. So one day she comes check me. She late night. She comes check me in the morning, and she drives over by me. She used to come check me at night and come drive over by me. So we're smoking and drinking, and I didn't really like drinking, but she wanted to really drink. So she went and got we went and she went and got some beer from some store and some other alcohol, and then we sitting outside, we drinking, and then we go into my house, but where I'm residing at the time is 4019. So we drinking. So she's getting passionate with me. So as we're getting passionate, it's like she takes off her clothes, and then as I'm starting to penetrate her, she's, oh, stop, stop, stop. So she's doing it on purpose, but I'm stopping at the time. I'm like, all right. So then we get intimate. Then she stop, stop, stop. But then she's wondering what's the difference of the physical reality because her getting intimate with me is too much for her because she's extremely more than turned on at the time. She's extremely turned on, and she keeps on coming forward towards me. Like it's like the chick wants me to get intimate with her, then she doesn't want me to get intimate with her. Then it's getting into her. It's scary because that means, oh, she came to find out all that time that she was wasting with the other guy. The other guy was making her humanely conditioned uncomfortable. And then when she was with me, it was feeling more than comfortable, that it felt overwhelming and scary because she was getting a feeling that she never got before. So, you know, she didn't know how to handle that situation because now she knew that the individual was lying to her when it came to the physical reality. I didn't say nothing about it, so she tried to come aggressive with me again, and then she was like, stop, 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 stop. So I said, yo, it was a turn on. So she came there to turn me on. So her mental and the energy, then I noticed that's when the live energy came on her. Wanted to manipulate it because now the energy itself was in trouble because it was trying to steal her form of enjoyment. Because I told you when I turn on, I could turn somebody on naturally. And another person to do is like the guy doing Reiki science inside right now, but I could turn somebody on naturally regardless of what the situation is. Even if my head is like, where right now I'm feeling pain in my head, I can show you, look, I can make a girl feel like she want to suck dick or have sex, but that's because I'm the natural refiner of the astrological tree. I don't do that for everybody. But another person at the time when I'm about to show you this is probably timing this video because they probably knew about something in the jewel light of me speaking about this, and then I'm feeling pain right here, and then on top of it, I'm still turning you on, showing you if I could do that naturally, if you watching a sequence, what can I do naturally physically, right? So that means I'm the only one that could do this physically. So these are people that they knew that they did wrong was just raping girls mentally and emotionally and physically. Because it's just like a man telling you got a husband and then he wants to continue going forward with you. And then on top of it, he continues going forward with you. The nigga is basically telling you that he's gonna kill your real soulmate or what makes you happy because the things they're doing. But if a man's showing that on a cellular level, dealing with matter, what are they doing in a higher level of magic or mythology? So showing you, even if it was a drug that they were taking, or even if it was a form of medication or a drug, there's somebody causing some type of depression in cellular structure, even with dealing with medication. So they're abusing the science of the medication and doing weird voodoo magic. These are things that who used to do this? Terror, the sons of a certain god of Aries, Terra, um, Fear, and all these other individuals that used to do funny things like this, But those were the of Aries astrological tree. They didn't, Athena didn't like these individuals that did that. That was of individuals that was going after real sacrecy. But those, you can look at things like that on a Hercules cartoon. You'll see them individuals, and they'll manifest around you in the physical reality. Because anyway, I gotta tell you, but those are people that used to do certain chemistry science that used to fuck up individuals that was German, German people that was from Germany, Turkey, Jewish people. They used to target certain social economic and cause a population and stuff after a while because the way they learn their science and then they ruin their mother's life from ever manifesting the physical reality arena, and then other things happen at a time. So I don't get into the mythology of Aries a certain type of way because I'm really the one that educated Aries in the depth. But I'm the really Athena. Athena was more older than them individuals, but they didn't know, and they just thought I educated Athena a certain type of way, and the people of Aries don't know too much about the astrological tree a certain type of way. And I don't gotta tell you how nice I am. Down to even my foundation, even of acknowledgement, I even show you another person won't know a certain type of thing about me, a certain type of way, and another person you're probably thinking something else, and then you have people from Aries astrological tree that already tried to invade the Helen of Troy. They already tried to invade Athena's temple to get to the Helen of Troy to fuck up Athena, and those were people from the Mushu calendar that infiltrated the Indian region that was doing medication drugs, and the drug was trying. If you have a Earth, a celestial structure, you have a natural drug that's going places, trying to manipulate the humane condition of the chemistry of the individuals in life that's causing destructiveness. And then you had people that hit me with an injection. I'm the real Mosai that made all space and all planets. So you had people that hit me with an injection at the time that tried to depress my mental to kill people all around the world. And these were people that were real criminals that was working in a psychiatric facility of Kings County and also Coney Island. And then when you tell them this, it's like a non and void to their consciousness because it's too much. Because these individuals already did wrong and they're criminals, so they're trying to cover it up for what they did. And then for them to do something like that, they had to go into the highest consciousness. They had to do it in China, Asia, India. They probably tried to make India go against itself. It's like a form manipulating India's chemistry at the time, and then causing India to have a cycle of bad vibrations. Because I told you this guy named Bob wanted to kill Khalil. She wanted to kill one of the Buddhist empresses. That was honored through Buddha. It was like she wasn't a Buddhist empress. She was outside of the Buddha temple, but it was a point of secrecy just to be even recognize the outer part of one before one's complete, before one could travel outside the outer part. And he tried to kill Khalil. She was on the television show Supernatural, and then they have the elephant that always represents to let you know of the luck, because I'm the one that did Umbak, and but the god of the elephant. These people the Mushu tried to get into the Indian calendar because they wanted to fuck up. They didn't know the reason of India. They were trying to find out the reason of sacredcy of India because they want to say when black and white people got together, they made India. No, they never did no shit like that. It's just, that's a person that wanted to manipulate people and erase the reason of their history and just wanted to downgrade because their science to the habitation is so high. They want to get into their sacredcy, so they try to give a false reality to the individuals of the of of the congregation of the social economic system for other individuals to infiltrate and learn the sacredcy and try to have an advantage point over individuals when they're learning their human condition or mythology or metaphysics to their education. So those are people that already had bad intentions, because a person doesn't have to lie to a person about sacredcy to manipulate them what's going on. That means a person already caused bad intentions, and it's just like a person that caused bad intentions, then wants to, it's like a jolle, a person that you call a Haitian jolle. They want to make somebody look bad so they can look good, so they can learn sacredcy, and they're like the point man that's going to fuck up. So they're like the cellular structure of some type of drug that's going to manipulate individuals through the paradigm of time. And then if you had star children of my children, make like doing certain form of martial arts, getting healed at a time, you have a person that doesn't want people to even know what's going on, and then on top of it, because these things are going to be happening through the cycles of life, they're going to be fucking up somebody's reality. So you have somebody studying somebody, like a martial arts opponent, and this calling upon. So it's just like, I explain all these things on Sandwich Chips. You got to hear my Sandwich Chips recording. I don't feel like explaining everything to you. I don't want to tell you about advancement and all type of things and being on a high level, low level, and wondering what's going on. I don't want to explain. I explain that all about PS 19 in the middle of the street on a Sandwich Chip. Too bad for you. You got to learn that shit. So, a person is wondering about certain other things, and then you have people that want to infiltrate international security, so they're gonna go after me. And then I'm the real Mosai. Listen, imagine a person trying to take advantage of a man that made all existence and manipulating everybody listen, I'm not, a person would be like, a man like me, they're trying to use me like a form of a shriner, and then I made the individuals that are shriners. So these are men that's manipulating the astrological calendar of honor and honesty. So I don't even care, man. Another person I do care, because the people that are doing that is gonna die automatically because they don't know what they're doing. But it's just like, to see that you have elders that knew about this information that led to even let it happen, and you have star beings that knew about things like this and it's happening. You don't gotta worry about them being a star anymore after that, because once certain bad things start happening to me in the physical reality, I don't give a fuck what light you were after that. You ain't never gonna be alike. It's like what's going on with the calendar of era still to this time, right now that I'm in. Once I'm being dishonored, disrespected in any form, in the simplest way, and I'm the real magi. The simplest way you disrespect me, my nigga, I don't gotta say nothing to you because all it takes is my temperament. So I don't gotta say nothing to you. I just, oh man, finished already. It's just like having somebody annoying my consciousness that whispers, I hate you, and all type of stuff, a certain way. That person's causing anybody around me to get finished. It's like, because right now I'm looking at the person that's the more elder around the social economic system that looks like an elder, and then they're finishing them a certain type of way. Because a person, you disrespecting your elder, and I'm supposed to be refining and rejuvenating my cellular structure to stay young because I'm the one that made all space, and then you having somebody annoying my consciousness knowing that I got shot and everything that happened. Yo, I'm finishing the individual. I'm just not saying that in a certain type of word. Oh, okay. Let me hear that shit. Any little bit. It's so real. Now I turned off my bathroom light. You know how the bathroom has a little vent and then you can hear a person clearly? I turned it off. I can hear that shit clearly because I already heard it. So now I know for sure. Now I don't gotta tell you what's going to happen. So it's things that you don't even have to worry about and stuff. Funny situations with other people and stuff. And I know what I'm speaking about. So, I'm just gonna tell you just like this, man. I woke up to that chick, that the chick trying to manipulate the Star Trek Empress. And then it's like having an Empress wondering why she's mad and why she's going through certain things. I don't give a fuck. You already have, she already had the doc. Listen, she was already having fantasies with the stink guy that played James Bond on television, that was from the calendar, or the fifth calendar of the birds, or fly high, or fly high a certain type of way. And then on top of it, then she got her stink anatomy of the continuance of physical reality in some space bathtub that was already trying to devalue value. So her physics of her reality, what the other that black chick is doing, is beyond. She had something to do with Mushu not being in the other, and she's a Mushu chick anyway from Geo's calendar. She's from a calendar. Is not called respect. It's called is discipline. Is a calendar of discipline. And she showed you she already had the wrong intentions when she came to discipline her. And then she be in Britain and all these places with the other little stink pussy chick that already be manipulating, and then changing her face and her features from Charlie's Angels and stuff. Yeah, come on, man. These are Asian. Some of them are Asian people that's just changing their features and stuff. They're just doing reptilian six calendar magic that's spoiling the vein of the astrological empress of Era, and spoiling her vitalness of her vein, doing the wrong magic when it comes to us. Listen, Era was Aaron Light, was the first calendar. Lunar of Stoneman, it was orbit and rotate. If you're doing falsified, fucked up magic on a high level of vitalness, and a person's supposed to be the purity of the Empress, and they're not supposed to do stuff like that, what do you think happened to Aaron Light at the time on the calendar of Era? Who killed it? The people from Britain. The people that's all on the television that we're watching, the people that see they use something, they know shit. That was just taking advantage of individuals' magic. That's it. People that destroyed their own calendar because you had the wrong generation, had the wrong sexual intentions, and manipulating through time. And then you had people that was having sex, or people that was doing a high form of, how could I say this? Habitation that was doing a form of cleansing, and then certain individuals kept on popping up when they're doing cleansing because the person is doing wrong. So when in a reflection, even at a time, because they're probably using, trying to get to the value calendar to, get forms of money, and to know a reflection point, and then, fucking up the habitation, and then on top of it, then orbiting rotation don't want to tell them what's going on. And then on top of it, they fucked up the Stonemen. It's just like you started having DJs called Stonemen. These DJs were already doing fucked up things. These DJs, they were called Stone Love. Those were people, they were all dark. The real Stone Love DJs were never dark. They were never dark anatomy. That was just individuals through time that learned a form. They're just a reflection of the parallel of an individual or individuals did. And then on top of it, then then you have these individuals that's called stone love that's trying to ruin the love of an individual in life. There's a DJ group called Stone Love that's, that is just the parallel reality of the real individuals, that's the real DJs of the real Stone Love, that of the harmonical frequency. Because if you have if a element has a harmonical frequency, don't you think they have real DJs for the element? I should know. I'm love himself. So what is that telling me? You know, that these individuals that call themselves Stone Love was just a parallel reality of individuals and the things that they want to do, and then the real love DJs. Because I'm nice all over the place. I'm always gonna be a man of enlightenment. So they don't even go by the name. Yo, I can't even tell you. Like, it is funny, my nigga. It's beyond funny what's happening with individuals in the physical reality. It's just like sitting there and watching some mad scientist type situations happen or something. And then look at that. You have the Big Bang Theory that plays on the frequencies on television. Then then on top of it, I'm sure about it, you know, and then on top of it, and then on top of it, you wondering about individuals, and then these individuals are just trying to kill the love of the individuals using harmonical frequencies and causing some type of different trauma, different trauma in the physical reality and in the dark matter. So the depth already doing wrong. You know, the depth of the vibration already trying to crack a vibration stone. So you know, Vibe wanted to know if my wife Vibe, how can oh what? I mean, let me just tell you Vibing Vibing and my wife. I'm not gonna tell you the exact name, but she knows what I'm speaking about. My my wife Vibe, or my wife I'm not even gonna touch. You know, wanted to know what was going on, who was killing her at the time. Those were the individuals, you know, individuals that were trying to break through and find out the frequency of harmony. And then you even had a family of Vibe one time making music videos that were Asian and they knew where I was. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even matter. It's like it's just like I own Madhouse. You remember? It was called Love House Records, but then it was also called Madhouse Records because a man would go a mad, they say, or go crazy because he knew I was Zeus. And then my son, Mr. Chin, and all of them, they were around me. The nigga couldn't even. He was hanging out with niggas that was wanting to kill him naturally. Like yo, he was hanging out with a niggas that was already depressed in my physical reality in time, and that wanted to kill niggas naturally. And then I already argued with my other son and them that knew that where I was. They already did the wrong thing to themselves because they was, listen, it's like smoking weed, you fucking up your heart and harmony, or smoking cigarettes, and then you wondering how come me and my son doesn't get along at a time when we see each other and we're fighting. And then I'm looking at the nigga like, yo man, how could you not be educated? It's just like it's just like one time I was over there by Avenue I, and these individuals I knew from around my way named Eddie that used to live over there by Hubbard and stuff pulled up, and then I'm looking like, yo, imagine my real son Eddie. I'm like, yo, why is me and Eddie argue and we couldn't stand each other at a time? Because the nigga probably smoking weed, drinking, smoking tobacco at times, and then the natural vibration of his harmony, because he's polluting his love and I'm the real love, is causing us not to even get along a certain type of way in the natural chemistry, because what the chemistry is truly doing to his human condition is killing the love that he had and the love of his higher consciousness, because it's like killing himself. So a person was manipulating the physics of the chemistry of the science and using chemistry to fuck up a person's reality in the physical. So when we're around each other, it's like unbelievable what's happening with the nigga, with me and the nigga at the time. And then I don't want to say nothing to Eddie because Eddie's the type of person he'll he'll be with Indy or I can't tell a nigga certain things. It was bad enough. I remember this nigga Eddie had a cousin named used to hang out with this next guy I knew, and he had a cousin named Amy, and Amy ended up dealing with this guy named Kevin Hyde that was on some Noah's Ark situation that manipulated that knew Mushu, and then on top of it manipulated a form of magic that fucked over her astrological tree of a certain individual with certain frequencies. And I would never be with that same pussy bitch after that, because the nigga already got it. He had it in and out, eating out the quick. It was so real. Amy came to Kevin Hyde's house, Stephen Hyde's house, because I went in the house one day. That's the only reason why he got with Amy. Amy was a girl that used to go to school with the nigga, and then at the time she was going to school with the nigga, she ended up inside the guy's house, and then wondering how she ended up in the guy's house. And it's all because of my innocence of the love. And then I used to go in their house. I used to go hang out in their basement. I used to go speak to their mother, and then Amy came to the house. After that, that was all they had to see was Amy come to the house, and it was over. Because at that time, I was recovering. I was at a young age. Amy was in high school with the nigga Kevin, and then how real this was? I was dealing with her. Yo, listen, I was dealing with Ashley, and then I ended up being with Tiffany, and dealing with Tiffany and dealing with Ashley, and people were wondering how did the nigga just do something like that? And then I'm telling Tiffany at the time, I'm like, yo, Tiffany, you have a form of regardless where you're gonna have to be careful with an individual of rags like a blade and shield because you resemble you resemble you resemble shade, and you're of a higher jewel a reality. And then Ashley resembles my wife, and then she resembles Liv. So these are people who's gonna be fucking up your reality, the individuals around. And then Amy came. I was like, oh my god. When Kevin used to started dealing with Amy, her life was over because I'm like, at the time I'm reflecting on it now, but before I didn't even realize that Kevin was trying to murder me and shit. Then he was going to go after the rock family. That's that. That's why he had. And then on top of it, all he was doing was buying actual legends. I ended up. His mother had an actual legend. He gave it to him. I ended up hanging out in the house with them. Me, Ralph Lane, R.A. Ra Light Pyramid Highest. RALPH. I ended up in the house, the actual legend. You know what I'm saying? The legend sign. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of it, Acura. I ended up in the house. And then next thing you know, Amy ends up coming over there. And then there was nothing else to be said. Kevin was gonna manipulate all science and physical reality to fuck up our life. And then on top of it, me and Amy were supposed to be together. Them individuals mixed up the social economics, so it would look like I couldn't achieve anything in my life because she wanted certain things, and then next they were being with a girl I was supposed to. Yo, listen, man, it already happened. You see, we're in 2018, so too bad. People didn't realize it then, and then you could imagine. Oh man, I can't even tell you, man. It's just funny. It's just like what's gonna happen in India. India ever manifests. India knows everything that's going on, but there's a guy named Bob that's trying to kill Khalid that's gonna try to kill India. So these are people that was already mad at India, and then the reason why is because India has something to do with the sun calendar a certain type of way, right? They say because remember she receives a form of light just to even be able to grow her natural nature, and I'm the real rock. So then the ice galaxy, Bob came to ruin the ice galaxy and manipulating India to ruin the ice galaxy. And then because India knows what's going on, he tried to break into the astrological calendar of India and tried to manipulate the main calendar. And then on top of it was gonna fuck over the Mings, India, and the Ice Galaxy all in one shot. So these are people that already sided with Razor's Blade and Shield using Mushu magic, and then on top of it, trying to break through Esri Donto Secrecy at the time. So these are people that was gonna do fucked up things from ancient times, and then the things is they're just trying to get a certain group, a certain circle, a certain type of way, and then fuck up. Like I don't care, yo. I'm telling you the truth. My wife don't tell me how being so together. I don't care about don't tell a certain type of way. I do like the more I see don't tell on the internet, the of people of the purity of a legacy and lineage, the more it's already causing me depression in my reality because I'm seeing her, and I'm seeing them reveal at times points of sacredcy of things that we did, and then another person doesn't want them on my internet because they already want to abuse. They don't want them to be connected to the point of man that made them, so they could fuck them up in magic. And then all they're doing is trying to fuck up the energy, the spirits, the possession spirits, the chi. You know, chi, people doing chi energy, chi magic. They're trying to fuck up chi. They're trying to fuck up the vitalness, and they're trying to fuck up the force and light. So these are people that's going after jewel magic after a while. I don't care. Yo, listen, I don't gotta explain to you the physics and science. If you don't know, then too bad. Good for you. Right now is 65 minutes, 40. I'm gonna wait to go to 50. 50. Love one.